Okay, let's assume this is a £1 million acquisition. And we've been out there, we've done the outreach, we've connected with the seller. It's a very, very nice fit for your company. So as I'm going through this, just imagine what kind of a company you would like to buy and bolt onto the business that you're already running. So I've gone out, because my job is negotiations. I've gone to the seller of that business, and I have persuaded them by showing them how the business can grow, showing them what a pair of safe hands, and as important as anything, showing them the facts that over 80% of small businesses never sell; they just close their doors. So when a seller, they start the day they think of exit and thinking they're going to put a huge amount of money into their pocket. Actually, it doesn't really work like that. So for this assumption, or this example, I have negotiated with the seller for him to defer 50%. That's the green part there. He has agreed to defer 50% and to be paid that 50% over a 4-year period. To you, that means that 50% can be paid out of the revenues that business will produce moving forward once you take ownership of it. It also means that you no longer have to find £1 million for the acquisition. You now have to find £500,000. So in order to do that, we've gone through the numbers of the business with my team, and we've worked out a deal with an asset finance company for £300,000 on asset finance. That's another 30% of the sale price taken care of. So now we've only got to find another £200,000, which is 20% of the business, for easy numbers. So I've gone back to the owner of the company. I said, look, you've already entrusted. You've now met the guys who are going to take over the business. You've met their team. You know the business is in safe hands. You know your staff are in safe hands. We would like you to be a part of the journey of growth that we're going to do in the next 3 years. So right now, you own, or we still have to come up with 20% of the deal. So we'd like you to keep that equity and to do an equity earnout. And the reason we'd like you to do it is because right now that 20% is worth £200,000. In a year or 2 years, once we've gone through the growth program that we're doing, that 20% might be worth £400,000 or £500,000. So we would like you to leave that equity in that business, reduce the price by 20%, keep the equity, and then we will give you an option to sell that in X period of time. You've now done a deal where you've taken over control of that business for really very little, except for some out-of-pocket expenses for legals and accounting. You can see how that works. If you think about any business that you would like to take over, with the right approach, with the right strategy, using this scenario, and I've got a couple more for you, we've just worked out how to fund the entire deal. Let's have a look at another strategy. Same company, but in this one, the deferred seller, where the vendor agrees to defer some debt, is only 25%. That's the bright green one. So he hasn't agreed to 50% like he did on the other time. He's agreed to £250,000, which is 25% of the business to be paid over the 4 years. We've then gone, as mentioned before, to the asset finance, and they've worked out 15%, and we've gone back to the seller, and we've done a 10% earnout. We then, in this instance, we still need to find a fair chunk, 50% of the business. So we've gone back to the C-suite, let's say the CMO, the CFO, and the COO of the business, and we have offered them an opportunity, once they've seen our growth strategy and what we're doing with this buy to build. We've offered them a chance to get in right now at a great opportunity, and we basically sold 20% of the business to the C-suite, which ties them into growing your business. It ties them into you. Okay. We've then, on this instance, we still need a 30%. So we've gone to the supply chain, and it may be a new company within the supply chain. It may be somebody who exists in the business, so they know it's a strong business, and we've made an offer to them to become part of the growth story of the company. And they said, yeah, great, all right, we're in for 150 grand. Book us down for that. So we've got another 15% in. And then there's another £150,000 of working capital within the business. Now, we may need to buy that working capital off of the off of the owner, pound for pound. But what we do is we add it to the overall price of the business, and we put that into the deferred option. So we're going to be paying that out, but it's left £150,000 in the business, which is the last slice of that cake that we need to make the acquisition. Let's have a look at the third and final one. So we're going to do working capital and sell and lease back on this. So deferred seller, 20%, asset finance, 20%, seller equity, 10%. Now, on this deal, let's assume that the offices or the warehouse that the company is running from is owned by them, and it's worth £400,000. Well, once I know that, and I'm working on your behalf to acquire this business, once I know that, I will then go to our list of property investors, and I will put together an offer for the property investors to buy that asset out from us. So they've paid us £400,000. And why would they do that? Because they know they've got us as a tenant, because we've just negotiated a 15-year lease or whatever it turns out to be. So they've given us £400,000. That's 40% of the deal value. Now we're in on the deal. Let's assume now in your existing company, the company that you're thinking of bolting all this to, you've got £50,000, which is 5%. And you decide that you're going to put that into this acquisition. Now, here's what you can do. Once you put that £50,000 in, you can pull it out once the acquisition is yours, because you can just be lending it to the business. So assuming all the other numbers are working well, and as I said, there's now 240, 250 ways to do this, assuming that the numbers work out and everything's safe and sound for you, then you can just pull your company funds back out. And going back to the example we used before, the working capital in the business was also £50,000, and that's just left in there. Yes, we had to buy it off of the seller, but we've also put that on top of the vendor financed aspect, which is going to be paid out over 4 years. So we've made that acquisition work by just putting together various aspects of the deal stack. And at Rise, what we do is we work out what's going to make this acquisition work for the seller, for you, and for us as we're involved in the deal, and to work out how to make these acquisitions actually happen. So we're on a buy, build, and sell, and it gives you the opportunity to move your business along the acquisition value line.